everyone. Welcome back to the Wild Thoughts podcast. I'm your co-host, Kat.
I'm your co-host, Afi.
And today we asked you guys to submit your juicy stories and burning questions that you guys have. And we're going to be reacting and giving some advice. So we got quite a few submissions. So I'm super excited to get into it. But before we do, again, as you can see, we're on Zoom. So please be aware that there might be some freezing on my end or Afi's end. And if there is, so sorry about that. Feel free to listen to feel free to listen to the audio version instead if you guys would like. But if you are watching, just be aware that there probably will be some freezing because like Wi-Fi is shit. So,
technical issue.
Yeah, you already know. Okay, so let's get into it. Afi, take it away.
Yes, so I'm going to start with the first submission. I kind of feel like I'm growing apart from my best friend. Brackets, I don't really enjoy hanging out as much, and I'm not sure what to do. I don't know if I'm growing apart or maybe just getting bored with the relationship. Ooh, that's interesting.
It is interesting. I feel like we both have experience with like friendship, distancing and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's normal, like it happens.
Yeah.
But I think it's maybe because of COVID, things are unnaturally, like you kind of, if COVID weren't to happen, you maybe would have not distanced yourself as much, or maybe this actually may have nothing to do with COVID, but I feel like because of that, we just got used to being on our own, not liking to like text or talk a lot because we're stuck inside, we're always on our phones.
Yeah. I feel like it could also be maybe if you can pinpoint what exactly you don't like about when you're hanging out, because it could be an array of things. Like maybe it's specifically something that they say or they always bring up that you're kind of getting like, okay, I get it. Or maybe like you don't have much in common anymore if you guys are kind of in different life paths. So it could be that. But I think once you pinpoint exactly what it is that you're not like latching to, that you're like, okay, yes, I want to keep this friendship going, you can kind of decide there whether or not you're like, okay, I think it's time for us to grow apart, or kind of like, okay, let's make more of an effort to kind of get together, hang out more,
Yeah, that's true. I agree. Like, even with what Kathy said, because you say you don't really enjoy hanging out as much. So, like, what feeling do you get? Do you feel belittled? Do you feel, like, offended when you hang out with them? Is it because they're, like, bringing you down? Like, what type of, why is it that you don't enjoy hanging out? Like Kathy kind of said, like, to pinpoint, like, what it is. And then from there, see if it's something you can genuinely, like, kind of work on or fix. Or if it's just something, like, is more a like them problem and not really like a us problem. I wouldn't say like, because all friendships are different, so I wouldn't say like compare it to your other friendships, but maybe look at the ones that you enjoy, like people you enjoy being like in their company, and see what they have in common and see whether that piece is missing maybe in the friendship that you have. Because you said you're also like, oh, are you maybe getting bored with the relationship? So maybe it's because maybe you're not talking about a lot of like interesting things, or like Kathy said, you don't have much in common anymore. So
that's what I'm thinking. If you're asking if you're getting bored with the relationship, it's probably because like you don't have much in common and you don't know what to talk about.
Yeah.
So I feel like either those types of friendships, you either just start drifting apart naturally and then like that's it. Or it's like the type of friendship that you get together like once or twice a year and it's still good, but like at that point you have more to talk about. So it might be better to just like meet up not as often, so then maybe you'll have more to say and then it'll be more interesting to actually hang out with them.
Hopefully this helps.
Yeah.
And you can kind of pinpoint what is happening, but good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Also, disclaimer, this is our personal advice, so don't take everything we say too seriously. Like, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, it's not professional. It's very just experience-based.
Exactly. Okay. We have our first career-related submission. So, I'm feeling trapped in my career/education path. Everyone tells me to continue pursuing my degree and keep it in my back pocket, but I don't have the motivation to even finish my degree, nor do I see myself working in this field. A part of me wants to quit, another part of me doesn't like the idea of quitting, and I'm also afraid to disappoint my parents. Bitch, if you don't quit, If you don't quit, if the
Listen.
only reason that you're staying in that is because you don't want to feel like a quitter and you don't want to disappoint other people, not even yourself, there's nothing tying
not
you
a
to
good-
that. Yeah. It's just
Yeah,
gonna
it's not
cause
a good
like a
reason.
lot of negativity and stress in your life that you don't need. And you could be focusing all your energy on something that you actually enjoy and not kind of, I'm not saying that it's a waste, but you're kind of like just taking it day by day and you feel like agony towards it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like it'll, like, imagine you're excited to study or do something you're actually passionate about, but you're doing something you don't really love. It's kind of draining your energy.
Yeah.
And it may make you feel some type of way towards, like, school, education, and not motivate you as much to continue in something that you like because you're, like, so exhausted by what you just did and you didn't enjoy it. I would say, like, Kathy, like, it's not worth it. If you don't like, you're doing it for you at the end of the day. If you don't like it, why don't you just maybe switch into something you like, or like check it out, maybe do certifications, like see what it is that you want to do, and you can still continue doing a degree if you want, but just not in what you're currently doing because you don't enjoy it. And I totally get, like, you don't want to quit, or maybe you're almost done and it's like, oh, I put in. But at the end of the day, it's not a waste. It's like you said, like, it's always knowledge you learn, experiences you go through that you're going to take with you that are going to help you in the future. So I don't think it's a bad thing to just, like, quit, as you say, and just switch to something else. And your parents, they just want you to be happy at the end of the day. For sure, like, yes, they have maybe some expectations, but if you're saying you don't enjoy it, then they're going to understand that.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I think you have to think of it from the perspective of the parents, like, you already made a commitment towards it. So in their mind, they think you want to do it. So their expectation is like, oh, they're going to finish, they're going to like excel in it, blah, blah, blah. But it's only because you put that expectation in their minds because you took the step to start doing it. So if you admit that you don't actually like what you're doing, I don't think they're going to be mad at that. And if they are, like, okay, who cares? It's your life, not theirs. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And take it from me, I'm someone that doesn't like quitting. I don't like failing. I switched out of accounting to marketing because I would work in accounting, and literally I remember that year I was like in the worst mental health space of my life. I was picking fights with everyone. I was like excessively sleeping because I was so drained from the day, because it takes energy to pretend like you actually care about something that you don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like,
exactly. Like,
you're gonna feel so much better if you just go towards something that you actually enjoy. And even if you're doing a degree now, you can like Afi said, you can either switch into a different degree, or you can stop the entire schooling aspect and do a certification or like something else that you enjoy. Like, you don't have to continue on a path that people put into your mind.
Right. Exactly. And nowadays, you don't even necessarily need to have like that schooling. You can kind of learn through jobs experience. You could get a if it's something you're not very knowledgeable about and you want to like increase that and just have more confidence, then for sure it helps. But you can start off in like entry level positions and then like work your way up in the field that you want, and like, yeah. So I would say,
so our advice is to quit and
yeah,
and to switch into something you like.
Exactly. And maybe don't think of it as quitting. You're just stopping something you don't enjoy to do something that you do enjoy.
Exactly. You know? You're pushing away the negativity in your life and welcoming positivity. Let's see it that way.
Exactly. We love that. Such a beautiful statement by Kathy.
Thank you.
So, okay, this is kind of a career one also. So it says, currently burned out at my job and thinking of finding a job in something else that is unrelated, which is hard to do when you don't have the relevant experience. How to figure out your next career move and be confident that it's the right decision? Thanks.
The way you read that?
I love it.
Thanks.
Sorry. I don't know why I read it like that.
It's okay.
Okay. Anyways.
Okay, this kind of goes into what we were saying before, where it's like you don't necessarily need to have a degree in order to find a job. Like, you can have relevant experience through certifications that you can do online, or even just like looking at like videos on YouTube, or even like we talked about it, I think a couple episodes ago, there's something called Skillshare that they'll have like different episodes related to a skill that you want to learn, and you can kind of do it
Yeah.
that way. I think it's probably easier to switch career that it's like something in the same general space. Like if you're doing, let's say, accounting to marketing, it's still in the commerce business space, so that's probably
Yeah.
like an easier switch to do. But you're saying something that's unrelated, so I am gonna take it and like I'm in accounting and I want to do fine arts, like I'm gonna take it that
Yeah.
way. If you
Yeah.
want to do that, there's nothing stopping you. There's like
Yeah.
the negativity that comes to it, and like you think you're thinking of, is because you're putting that into your perspective. But like there's
Yeah.
no harm in trying to gain experience through what I just said, and then applying to a bunch of different jobs and just seeing if someone takes a chance on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I've said this in the past, but like you can create your own experience. So even if you don't have like a degree or job experience in that field, like you can, like, you want to be a writer, start blogging, start maybe, I don't
Exactly.
know,
A
writing
side
a short
hustle.
story. Yeah, like, and you can kind of like build a portfolio based off of that, like your work, you know, and how you've grown, and you can do, like, the internet has everything. So let's say you don't, I don't know, you don't end up doing a certificate, but you can still gain knowledge and then apply it to work that you give yourself and you can present later on. And like Kathy said, I feel like if it's in the general related field, then usually, like, if you have a business degree in anything, well, obviously like if you want to go from marketing to accounting, then it's different because you need those.
Yeah. But in
like,
that
there are
case,
requirements. Yeah.
I feel like in that case, if you're being interviewed, you can express your interest, that you're like, if I get this job, I would like to continue my schooling part-time at the same time, because then you're
Yeah.
showing that you're actually like putting in effort and you really want the job. And
Yeah. Like Kathy said, you said something unrelated. Obviously, your degree is not as, not that it's not helpful, but it's not going to directly like match the field you want to go into, but it may help that, like, oh, you have a degree, you did schooling, like people may like that in general. It shows that you have like different knowledge and stuff. But
yeah, I think just be prepared to answer the question, like, why are you applying for this job if you studied in that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But in terms of being confident that it's the right decision, the thing is, you're never going to know if it's the right decision. So you have to be
Yeah.
confident in yourself, and not in, also in the decision you're making, but you have to be confident that you know you have the balls to do this. You know you have the courage
Exactly.
to do this. So be confident in that, and just in the fact that you're actually taking the step to do something that you enjoy, rather than being stuck in a job that's burning you out.
Yeah, exactly. And you're never going to know 100% right off the bat. As you go through it, you'll know. But, like,
Yeah.
are you willing to be confident in the risk you're willing to take? But if it's if you don't like what you're doing and it's burning you out, then it can be worse than that. You know what I mean? So
Very true.
yeah. So
Okay.
do it.
So, okay, this is a little bit of a longer one. Out of nowhere, I suddenly feel anxious about being 24 years old, and I used to never worry about my age. It's weird because I feel like my youth is ending and that I missed out or didn't live it to the fullest. For most people in their late teens and early 20s have more fun and are just more carefree, adventurous, experimental, etc. I think I was mostly focused on school and my career during those years, so I didn't experience as much. Now, after over 2 years of the pandemic, with limited social life stuck at home in my mid-20s, suddenly people my age seem so mature and are saying they feel too old for certain things. We're expected to act like an adult, but I really just feel like a little kid at heart. Any advice for someone who's scared of adulthood? Lol. Okay, this is actually super interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
So, I am turning 24. Afi's already 24, so we're in the same age range.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like I relate to this because I was also very focused on school and my career. But the thing is,
Yeah.
now that I'm in my career, I'm still like very focused on that, but I'm kind of like, okay, now I want to have some fun. Like now I'm
Yeah.
like interested, like invite me out, let's go for drinks, let's do this. I
Yeah.
feel like it's not like you wasted anything, because first of all, we're still young. Like 20s is not
Yeah.
old. 30s
Exactly.
is like, we're not old, okay? You can have
Yeah.
fun at any age, and like
Yeah.
you're still in your 20s. So don't think of it as you wasted your teen and early 20s, because like you can still do the things, you just have to like actually do them and like make the
Yeah.
effort to go out. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah. I think people think that like 18, 19, it's like when you do all your crazy
Yeah.
stuff and then it's over. But it's like before you're even 20, but it's like, no, it's that's everyone's own journey. Like we could be doing the stuff people are doing at 18, like later in our
Yeah.
20s, you know what I mean? It's like you do it when it's right for you and you follow your path as honestly as possible. Like don't follow other people in high school because it's like the cool thing to do, you know what I mean? And then there's no fun because you did
Yeah.
all of it anyways.
That's why
But,
they're saying they're too old.
I think it depends on your personality too. Like I'm someone, like I didn't do all the cool things that people were doing in high school, but like I don't feel like I missed out because it's like not things I enjoy doing anyways. And nowadays I'm not like a party freak or anything like that because that's not me. And I'm the type of person that like literally at like 11, 12, I'm like sleeping.
I'm like, I'm in bed.
But yeah, but those are things I enjoy
Yeah.
doing. And like my fun things, like Kathy said, is like going out to eat with my friends or like going for dessert, just like doing things with the people that I like. But I think you should, even if you're in your mid-20s and you feel like you're a kid, then you should do those things that you want to do, like even if it's childish or
Yeah.
if you feel like they're
Which it isn't.
yeah, exactly. You just have to find the people that will maybe do it with you or
Exactly.
I find the crowd that like will match your energy.
Yeah, you just have to go out to your friends and be like, hey, do you want to do this tonight? Or like, do you want to go out during the weekend? Do you want to go for drinks? Blah, blah, blah. Like, you just have to ask. And like, most people will not say no. So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, exactly.
I think like you have to stop thinking as if you wasted your fun period because like it's not over yet.
Yeah. And I know it's because you mentioned the pandemic
Yeah.
here and it made you like you didn't do anything and then like 3 years later you're 3 years older, so you're like that should have been my time where
Yeah.
I because it kind of like life paused in a way. So it wasn't a waste because you barely the thing is during the pandemic you can barely feel FOMO because everyone's in the same boat, so there's
exactly.
no fear of missing out. But I'm sure people would love to like do things with you. It's just that they're used to, being more on their own and like not socializing as much. Like we just got used to it. But you should maybe suggest like, a night out and organize something that you want to do,
Yeah.
see if everyone's down, and then
I think it's just like, it's a
continue.
mindset switch that you have to stop being
Yeah.
so focused on like, okay, I have to excel in my career. I gotta work, blah, blah, blah. And more like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna go out tonight. It's a Thursday. Who cares? I'm gonna go out. Oh, on the weekend, maybe
Yeah.
I can take a day trip. Like, you just have to change your mindset to be like, I'm gonna actually do an activity that I'm interested in. And even like,
Yeah.
even if like your friends are busy or something, you can do stuff on your own too. I know that depends person to person, but like there's activities that you can do alone as well. And if not, like we said, just ask your friends and I'm sure they're gonna say yes to going out.
Yeah, exactly. And like Kathy, you mentioned how you were like focused on your career too, but then once you had it, you were more chill. But it's also like I think the concept of like because you had what you wanted
Yeah.
and you were less stressed about like
You feel more
okay,
settled.
like I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, I'm where I'm supposed to be. Now I can kind of relax and do like my hobbies and my interests because I'm secure
Yeah.
a bit more, you know what I mean? So
Exactly.
I mean that's normal.
I
Like,
think there's
everyone's
pros and
going through
cons
that.
to like both sides of it, because like either you were partying until now and now you're kind of like, okay, I've been there, done that, let me focus on my career, or you're
Yeah.
like, I'm focused on my career and now been there, done that, let me have some fun. It's like
Yeah.
everyone's gonna do it at some point. It's just like Avi said, the point in time that in which you feel you want to do it.
I feel like after COVID, my social anxiety has gotten much worse. Like, I forgot how to interact with people. I want to put myself out there, but I really struggle with talking to new people, especially at work. Also, after spending so much time in my sweatpants during COVID, I find getting ready to go out more stressful than ever. I've been feeling more self-conscious about my appearance and how to present myself to others. That's a good one.
This is a good one.
I can understand that because I'm also, well, mostly for the last part as well, I'm someone who would just literally, especially in the winter, sweatpants, hoodie, and a lot of people obviously gained weight during the pandemic, like literally almost everyone, which is like totally normal. but like you feel a bit bad about it, especially when you're out of the pandemic and like it's summertime and you can't wear sweatpants as much because it's hot and hoodies. And I would like hide in my comfort clothes, but I was like, oh, I just want to be comfortable enough. But it's kind of like you're hiding yourself a little bit. I think you just have to find like, just literally, if you can, maybe get a couple of new items in your closet that you can like easily wear with and pair with anything, and something you feel good in, like colors you like and that you, I don't know, make you, how do I say, like just match you better. Like, you know, sometimes
like your mood.
I know we can wear like we can wear anything we want, obviously, but like, for example, I don't know, to my skin tone, like olive green looks really good. So I just, you know how we said psychology of like colors and things like that. So
in the last episode
kind of
in
like
our How to Thrive during the summer, if you guys didn't listen to it, we spoke about that color actually has like a psychological effect on you, that if you wear certain colors, depending on what you associate to them, so like example, yellow is usually for energy or happiness, if you put that on, you will feel that as well. So I think, like Afi was saying, find stuff that makes you feel comfortable and you feel confident in, because personally, I've had this experience, like I've gained weight, obviously, and I actually had this yesterday where I was looking at myself and I tried on a bunch of different outfits and I hated everything I was wearing, and I felt very self-conscious because I gained weight, so my body doesn't look the same. And like, obviously when you gain weight, your body changes, right? So, but the thing is, it's like you have to kind of pull yourself out of your head, basically, like physically pull yourself out of your head and be like, no, I bought these clothes. I liked the way they look on me. That's why I bought them. And you just have to put them in a way that you're going to feel confident in them. And you're going to feel like, yes, now I look bomb. I feel confident. I'm ready to take on the day.
And we're so critical of ourselves. Like, even me yesterday, I was just looking at like a picture I took with my friends, and I was literally like focusing on like every aspect of my face. I'm like, bitch, like, no, what are you doing? But it's hard to obviously not perceive yourself that way, given that you're looking at it through your eyes, and it's also, just don't overanalyze things.
It's a lot of mental work that you have to do, and obviously, like we said it before, but journaling will really help that. So if you do have these negative thoughts about yourself, journaling will help you like take them out of your mind and put them onto paper so they're out of it. But like you were saying in the situation that your social anxiety has gotten worse and you feel like you can't interact with people like at work, I feel like work friends, it takes a little bit of time to kind of feel comfortable with people. So I think just give it time and like try to make small talk. I know it's kind of like awkward sometimes, but like just like fill the space with your voice, you know what I mean? Like if you see someone that comes in and you like what they're wearing, compliment them, and that kind of opens conversation. Or if like you're going for lunch with them and you kind of don't know what to talk about, ask what they're having for lunch, ask what they're doing on the weekend, like just keep asking questions. And I think like, I know you're going to be nervous while doing it, but just getting that first step in will help, because people will warm up to you very quickly when you do that, because you're opening the space for conversation.
Obviously, like, I know social anxiety, like, I don't know professionally, like, what the best advice would be to give.
For sure.
Personally, I am someone who can, like, you know, like, start, like, not get too anxious before talking to a stranger. So maybe talking to a professional about that might help. Also, they might give, like, really constructive tips. But like Kathy said, if you feel comfortable, maybe with just one person at work, like, you can give yourself a goal. Like, you don't have to talk to, like, 8 different people, but maybe one person, you could even smile at them. Like, if you don't, just, like, you know, give them a little friendly, like, a facial expression, you know? So they get the hint. Yeah, exactly, body language. Or you can just say, like, I typically, like, when there's people around, I feel like they're around my age, I'll be like, oh, like, whatever, hi, nice to meet you, what's your name? And then I'll ask, like, oh, like, do you go to school? Do you study? What do you do outside of work?
And
then
questions.
Yeah, exactly. Small talk, like Kathy said. But I know you said, like, it's hard for you to, if you're talking about friends also, and you don't feel like going out as much, like the person previously in the other question said, I would say, like, stay genuine to your feelings. Like, if you don't feel like going out every night and you're exhausted and putting in that effort to, like, socialize and you're drained, like, don't do that.
Set your boundary.
But if you see that, Yeah, but if you see you're really not like doing anything and you're just stuck at home all the time and it's kind of becoming unhealthy, I would say like try to see like the situation and social gathering that's happening and see if that's your type of vibe. Like if it's like, oh, they're going to a club and you don't want to do that, then obviously don't do that. But if it's just like, oh, a couple, like two of your really close friends and they're just like chatting, like why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think if you're going out with friends, it might be easier to feel more comfortable with going out. Because I know like when I'm with my group of friends, I'll like get dressed up a little bit more, even though like I feel like when I'm when I'm going on dates with my boyfriend, sometimes I get nervous that I'm like overdressed or underdressed, and I like that's when I start overthinking. And then like when I start overthinking, I'm critical about my appearance and stuff like that because I don't know what to expect. But I feel like when I'm with a group of people, it's easier because like I don't know, I feel like the attention's not on me, even though it's not in the first place, but it's like you're surrounded by people that make you feel comfortable, so you're more comfortable to kind of be yourself and like be more confident in yourself.
Yeah, that's very true actually.
Yeah. So the next one, I went to the nail salon with a specific design, which I had sent them prior to the appointment and they had said they could do, and ended up with some bootleg version. It's cute. It's cute, but not exactly what I wanted. Maybe it's my fault for not paying attention to what the nail artist was doing, but I don't think I should have to watch them like a hawk while they're doing my nails. How can I make sure to come out of the salon with exactly what I want? This can also apply for hair and other beauty appointments. Okay. I think...
Kathy, give the tips.
Before we get into that, I think we have to also not lower our expectations, but like... what we want exactly, the nail artist maybe doesn't have the skills or like they're doing their own interpretation of it. So we have to remember that. But if you want something and they don't deliver what you want, you're the customer. You have to voice it because they won't know. And the thing is I know like probably 95% of us will not say anything because even at work, we were talking about this actually last week where they were like, yeah, I got out of it, didn't really like the color, but I was too nervous to say anything, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, it's going on your body. You're the one paying for the service. And if you're not happy with the service, you have to say something because then you're paying for something that you don't want, which is like, why would you even do that? And they're expensive, you know?
It's not just any,
exactly.
It's not free. Like it is expensive. I think even, like personally, I feel bad too. Like whether it be at a restaurant, they make a mistake or like, getting my hair done, like saying something, but I think it just matters how you say it. If you say it in a respectful manner, be like, you know, like, thank you. Like, I understand, like, okay, whatever. Say something nice and really like, but like, you know, it wasn't exactly what I wanted. Would it be possible to like, maybe correct it or something, you know, just be nice. And if they're being rude about it, then you don't go back there.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Like, you know what I mean?
Usually like nail techs that I've had, they'll ask while they're doing it, like, oh, do you like it? Is it okay? Like when they do the first design, that's when you're like, don't like it. You should say something because then they're going to do your whole set. You're going to hate them. And then you're walking out like that. Like, no. And exactly what Afi said, if you say something and then they get mad or like passive aggressive about it, then you don't go back. Don't give them tip. Don't go back. Go to a different salon.
You tell them, you're like, I'm never coming back. No, I'm kidding.
You just lost a customer.
You make a TikTok video. Be like, this Karen here. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
But like Kathy said, if maybe you can, obviously it's annoying to watch the nail artist like a hawk. But like Kathy said, maybe so you give you tell her this is what I want. Maybe check out the first nail. See if it's like, just watch her do the first nail. And if it's like what you like, then let her continue. If you're like, then I would say stop her and let her know. So maybe you might have to watch like just for 5 minutes and then after you're chill.
Yeah, I think you just have to remember like you're the one paying for a service. So you have the say in what you're getting. You know what I mean?
I mean, it really depends which nail artist you're going to, right? There are more high-end, low-end, people with more experience, less experience. You see their design. So maybe make sure you take a look at, like, what type of work they can do. See, like, oh, can this, like, kind of match? Or what you can do, maybe you can send them, like, through Instagram or whatever messaging system, the picture of what you want.
Well, that's what they did.
I mean, usually that's what they do. Okay, that's what you do, right?
Well, they said.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Obviously, you'd have to send it before, and they're like, oh, yeah, I can do it. But the if you find it off social media, off another artist, maybe the like, you have to be realistic. It's like, oh, is this person the same experience level? Do they have the skill set, like you said? But you can always try it, and like Kathy and I said, just have to pay attention maybe for a little bit, and then just voice your concern or whatever you're not enjoying or liking about it.
Exactly. Because you don't want to pay for something that you don't like, so.
And they're not your friends. Like, you're paying them. No, like, they're your friends. I mean, they can be, but at the end of the day, it is a transactional relationship, right? You are paying them for a service. So if you're not getting the service, then it's like, don't take it don't create a personal thing about it. Like, don't feel like, oh, are they gonna get offended? Like, no, just say it in a polite way. Don't insult their work, but just be like, it doesn't, figure out a way to say it nicely.
And also, it's kind of like, if you're telling them that it's not exactly what you want, then they change it up. They can kind of like build their skills and like practice. So then you're kind of helping them in a way. And also you're helping them because if they actually fix it and then you're happy with the experience, then you're going to be a return customer. So like, they want to help. They want to give you what you want. Exactly. They want to give you what you want. So just like say it.
Yeah, take it. Yeah. Just do it. Don't feel bad.
Exactly.
So this one starts and says, more of a funny story than anything else, but I'm currently traveling and want to visit distant relatives. For convenience sake, I'll call them my aunt and my uncle. While I was on the road and I was communicating with them, it slowly became apparent that they weren't communicating with each other, and that they must have been in the middle of some kind of spat, lol. So now I'm a bit stuck trying to navigate seeing both sides while trying to decide where to stay without insulting anyone, all while dealing with the situation in a language I only understand at a novice level at best. Unfortunately, not the best situation, but I'm still glad to see them both, and I'm sure it'll work out in the end. Anyways, I'm sure you guys understand how random family grudges can be. Have you had any similar awkward encounters? Okay, wait. So just to understand, so basically, this person is traveling, and they want to stay with distant relatives, kind of, but they have not been communicating and like are kind of like in an argument, so they don't know.
I think this person was planning on staying with them, but then they realized when communicating with them that they're not really talking to each other. So they're probably, I think they're living, and it seems like they're living in different places. So the person's like, I don't know where to stay because I don't want to insult anyone.
Don't want to be awkward.
But the bottom line is they're asking, have you had any similar awkward encounters with family grudges?
Interesting.
So, yeah. I've had a lot of people in my family that were also like distant cousins or relatives, whatever, that would like have fights either with us or with each other. And it's kind of like, my family takes it as though like, oh, we have to be the bigger people. Like, we're still going to say hi to them. We're going to put on like a smile. We're going to show that we're putting in the effort, even though they're mad about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like in your situation, you kind of just like, you're there to enjoy the country that you're visiting. So just like, stay in one spot and that's it. I feel like if you, I don't know, like, whoever that you instantly felt more comfortable with, that's who you should be staying with. And like you said, you're still seeing both sides. So I don't think it would matter. And like, it's not on you to get the burden of trying to choose a spot. Like, they have to deal with their own shit, and they're a distant relative. So like, who really cares? You know what I mean? Like, exactly. They deal with it.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, they're kind of on the same side. So it's like, stay at whoever is your most comfortable. It's like, if they're mad, it's not your problem. You're not going to stay there anyways. And like, why would they blame you? You're just the family member. I mean, maybe you can go visit the other partner or person in the relationship or in the family.
That's just what out of kindness.
Exactly. So it's like, I don't see why it's an issue. Of course, okay, maybe one of them is going to be like jealous or a bit like, oh, why are you staying there? Like, what is the reason? You know, they might feel a bit like hurt,
but that's on them. But you're trying to find a place to stay, so
I think stay where you're most comfortable in. Like, sometimes you're closer to your aunt or your uncle or something, or you're just comfortable in one spot. If you really feel uncomfortable, then maybe find like somewhere else you can stay that's not too expensive and that you don't have to stress about.
Yeah.
You can always ask your parents for advice if, you know, just to be like, what do you think I should do? Like, what's the situation like, you know? Because I feel like parents will know, since it's kind of, they may be closer to the relatives, or possibly, I don't know. But yeah, have I experienced any? And not really, because there are not a lot of like separated or just like usually us in our culture, it's like you just stick together. But for sure, there's arguments. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I was thinking it also like it doesn't need to be like partners. It could be like cousins or siblings.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, that for sure. My family is a drama. Like they're always in some like. Yo, I don't know. I just stay out of it. I'm like, I'm eating popcorn on the side. Yeah, I'm like, listen. The thing is, most of my family, like, they're not in Montreal, so it's like when I go visit them in the States or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, there are awkward moments, and you have to go through them, and
yeah. I mean, it's entertaining sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes is the key word, but
yeah, exactly. And you try not to be the drama. Like, you try to be the actual, like, morally right and like peaceful person, so that way you don't have anyone can, like, nobody can approach you for anything because you didn't do anything
or blame you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I hope that works out. And I think whatever decision you make is fine. Just see what you're most comfortable in. Your main focus is to travel and visit the country and sightsee and all that. So
yeah, hope you're having fun.
Too much. Yes.
I think this is the same person. So it's another story. So another funny / awkward story. Usually while traveling solo, you make friends with roommates at your hostel and spend a good amount of time with them when not discovering things on your own. My last hostel, my roommate was a bit sweet but a little odd, and then I understood bit by bit that I think she's fallen for some MLM scam that involves lots of supplements and not eating dairy or gluten of any kind, and she's studying to be a nutritionist, quotes, under some Instagram nutrition influencers, not an actual nutritionist school. Stupid. Okay, no one go to this person. The next guy I met at this hostel, because the girl weirded me out, was relatively nice, but had some very American, quote, traveling habits, and people kept trying to scam him. Oh my god. I told him it was probably because he was wearing an American flag on his hat. And he goes, well... and he goes...
American pride will only get you so
Oh my god, so bad. He goes, well, I'm an American and I'm proud of it, and they'll just have to deal with it. All in a very...
American and you're stupid.
All in a very American way. That guy was... definitely an American. LOL. But everyone else I met at other hostels were super cool and chill to be around. For some reason, that hostel was just a different vibe. That's so funny.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, but so people are asking for it sometimes. Like, when it comes to, like, being scammed and they're traveling.
For it, you're dying for it. Like, okay, you need to know this pop culture quote.
What?
So you just said they're asking for it. So there's... So it's from Big Brother, but it's from Big Brother India, I think. And it's literally everywhere. And it's like a fighting scene, and the girl kind of gets really aggressive and she starts like throwing shit. And
wait, is it the trash where she throws like trash cans?
Yeah, she's like, you're asking for it. Yeah, you're dying for it.
Yeah, wait, I know. I know what you're saying.
You know when she. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh my god,
it was too good. It was the perfect moment for me.
It's too good.
Asking for it.
But yeah, I feel like that was super funny. I feel like we just had our travel video, podcast episode, but like, don't make yourself like noticeable like when you're traveling. Exactly, yeah. A target when you're traveling.
You want to blend in a little bit, especially if you're like, you never know. Like, people, it's like, especially if you're a tourist, they're gonna take advantage. Exactly, for sure.
It's like the same thing. Like, don't wear a backpack when you're traveling because people are gonna try to like cut it open or like steal it from you because they know you're a tourist.
I saw a lot of people do it though. Maybe because it's like, I don't know.
Well, it depends. Like, I feel like
men.
It is men.
Guys do it. Yeah. Yeah, mostly, all the men do it.
Mostly. Let's not generalize. But like, if you're doing it, people wear it in the front. But still, it's like, then they know you're a tourist, so they'll try to approach you with like selling you stuff. Yeah. So like, just don't make it noticeable that you're a tourist. You know what I mean? Like, don't slap an American flag.
Like, the American flag is like a bit too much. Yeah, it's like, do you need to be proud right now? Can you be proud in other ways?
American Pride is insane.
Like please.
I know that I feel like we actually have a lot of American listeners, and like it's crazy to me how like prideful they are of their country, because like we're totally not like that.
Like, I mean, like, okay, yes, Canada's cool, America's cool, but you done some fucked up shit, like both of you guys.
Both of them, the whole world.
Listen, because I feel like it's like hypocrite. Like if you're proud of the States or Canada, it's like a bit sus.
You're like,
it's like,
how did this country come to be? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We're on stolen land.
Yeah.
Woohoo, proud. Like, you know what I mean? It's like kind of like, I don't know. It kind of says a lot about someone, I think, or how ignorant they can be. So maybe it's not the best idea. But my coworker and friend gave me this tip that like when you're looking at hostels, one of the things you should really check and make sure it has a high score on is ambiance, because it tells you if like people are chill. So I don't know how, like, if this person checked it out, but sometimes it's like if the ambiance can be really low and like people are just like weird, and like I feel like the atmosphere
these people weren't like weird to the point where they're uncomfortable though. It's just like first of all, you're in an MLM scam. Like, come on, girl.
But did she fall into the scam when traveling or before, right? Like prior to traveling?
No, before.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That's kind of scary, because imagine other people fall into your scam.
That's the whole point of it. Like, that's why it's called an MLM scam.
Right, and you're giving them advice, and it's like about nutrition, and it's like, girl, it's so harmful. So it's like,
that's a whole other topic.
Yeah, honestly, just like maybe stay far away from them, because you know they're not going to get you into anything good after that American flag and the nutritionist. So.
Nope. Okay, our last submission.
What actions do you take to discipline yourself when you're trying to get rid of your bad habits? Me, none. No, I'm kidding.
Me, none.
Kathy, none.
Oh my god.
You give the first tip, Kathy.
I feel like what helps for me is probably a habit tracker, because you can visually see if you're actually doing what you want to be doing. Like let's say if you're trying to work out, or if you're trying to like read every day, like visually like filling it in and seeing like, oh shit, I missed yesterday, I should probably do it today. Like
that's smart.
It's kind of like a guilt trip, to be honest, because you're looking at it, you're like, oh, I haven't done it, I should get on to it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to build a habit, it works.
Yeah. And I know that it takes 21 days to like build a habit, and then I think 3 months to like have it solidified into your routine. So I think like you should just set the goal to be like, okay, for 21 days, I'm going to do this every day straight. I'm going to get it done. And then once you do that, then it'll be easier to kind of maintain. Another tip is to kind of like have a friend to keep you in check. Because I feel like you're gonna do it because like someone's watching you. You know what I mean? Someone's like keeping track of if you're doing it. So I think it'll be easier for you to kind of maintain it.
/ guilt trip. And
exactly. It's all about guilt.
But it just, it's just about like, no, but it makes sense. It's like if you have to feel a bit of pressure if you want to, get into a new habit that you're not used to doing. So that makes sense. I'm still working on discipline, so that's why I told Kathy to like take it away, because I feel like she is pretty good at like creating new habits and things like that. But for me, I haven't figured out necessarily a technique. I think the habit tracker is really good. Actually, that makes a lot of sense, because you can visually see it, and you're not just like being super lenient, just like, oh, whatever, I'll do it tomorrow, and like keep it a track in your head. Like that's kind of hard to do. I think taking breaks too, like for example, I like, okay, it depends. Like, let's say I'm studying, right? I try to figure out what technique works for me when studying. When am I most productive? When am I going to be able to retain information and not like feel overwhelmed, or like not feel like, oh, I just want to give up. So for example, in studying, like when I did research, I found like the Pomodoro Method. Pomodoro?
Yeah,
Pomodoro. I don't know how to say it. Sorry. Pomodoro
The tomato method.
And it's the tomato method. And it was like, so basically what you do is that you study for 25 minutes, and you take a 5-minute break, and you repeat that 4 times. And at the end of the 4th time, you take a longer 30-minute break. So this is like kind of helped me discipline myself because I was doing my studying, but in a way that was like most effective for me.
Yeah.
So I think you have to figure out like what works for you in order
say.
to accomplish your goal, you
Yeah.
know, and then figure out the habits that'll help in the process of that, if that makes sense.
I think like the method of finding it is very personal to you. So you just have to try different ways of doing it. Like either the habit tracker or the friend, or like Avi said, if it's specifically to studying. I also found it easier for me to do like 45 minutes of studying and then take a 10 to 15 minute break. So like I think also like for studying purposes, it's probably easier to like you to chunk it out and like time block what exactly you're doing. But if it's like other random habits, there's a bunch of different ways that you can do it. It's just again about being personal to you and making it work in your own lifestyle.
Yeah, maybe like a reward system too, you know, like psychology.
Like, I'm big on rewards.
Yeah.
I'm like, as soon as I finish studying, I'm gonna have some ice cream.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
a
reward. But obviously, like, do it in a healthy way. Don't like, how do I say, stop yourself from, exactly. Or like, just because you didn't do the habit today, like you can't hang out with your friends. Like,
exactly.
We're gonna relax a little bit. But yeah. Okay, cool. So I think we finished pretty much all the submissions. This was super fun. Like, Kathy and I love giving advice.
It's fun.
I
hope it's good advice.
Yeah, exactly. We hope it helped in some way. But for sure, if you need more advice, you can slide in our DMs, or if you want another episode like this, let us know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And of course, as usual, leave us feedback, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends or whoever. Follow us on our social media pages. It's at Wild Thoughts Pod. We're on TikTok, Instagram, we're on Facebook, and you can follow us individually as well. Everything will be linked down below.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.